JLo and Ben Affleck have a PDA-filled dinner date. Hey guys, welcome back to another shared news from home. We have all the details on JLo and Ben Affleck's steamy dinner date. But before we get into it, make sure if you're not already to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future updates. I'm your host, Gianna Gravalese, and today I am joined by the wonderful Morgan Wright and Fiona Zaring. You guys, I'm Team Bennifer all the way. This makes me so happy, so let's just dive right into it. JLo and Ben Affleck have been spotted kissing for the first time since rekindling their relationship. The two were seen out on a romantic date on Sunday at Nobu in Malibu, which ended up turning into a steamy makeout session. But apparently, you guys, this wasn't even a one-on-one date. They were actually joined by JLo's family to have a birthday dinner for her sister. Although this was surprisingly a family gathering, the couple only seemed to be focused on one another the entire time. Multiple paparazzi photos show them kissing, staring into each other's eyes, nuzzling into each other's necks, and clinging on to one another. So, you guys, this seems like a Disney movie to me or some sort of fairy tale. I already told you I am all for it, but I want to know, what are your thoughts about them being back together? Morgan.
I mean, I absolutely love them being back together. I have to say, I am Team J Lo and the whole A-Rod Madison LaCroix scandal. I am here for J Lo. And look, some people will make the argument that she's moving on kind of fast. I think that A-Rod and J Lo were over a long time before the rest of the world knew that they were actually over. My conspiracy theory is that I don't ever think they got back together. If you guys can remember, there was this one huge article that came out, their engagement is done. Then they kind of backpedaled a little bit and was like, no, they're working on things. And then a month later, they were officially split. I don't think any of that happened. I think they probably were just split for a very long time. And look, what's meant to be at the end of the day will be. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I love that you brought up the fact that like skeptics will say she's moving on too fast, because I do feel like almost guilty. My initial instinct is always like, wow, I just hope this is real because it's so fast. Like, I am so on board for this Bennifer moment. I think it is really beautiful, right? To see how much time has passed. They're seemingly picking up right where they left off. I mean, truly. And I think, I read, recently I was trying to do some like research because I was young when they were together the first time around, but I remember them being like, oh my God, everyone was obsessed with them. And it feels like they kind of broke up for one of those, like, it's just not the right time. Things aren't really working out. It wasn't an ugly split, right? So I love that they found their way back to each other. But Morgan, I'm kind of inclined to agree with you, because at first I was like, wow, I mean, we're just hearing about A-Rod and J-Lo. Like, how could this be real? I want Bennifer to be real, but it seems like she can't be, in an emotional place to totally take on a brand new relationship after that long of an engagement breaks off. But I'm more and more starting to believe that behind the scenes, J-Lo and A-Rod were done for a lot longer than we as the public knew, which, you know what? That's their right? Of course, if there are problems going on behind the scenes, they're going to keep that private. So it's an interesting roller coaster ride that we're all on right now, but I'm just really happy for them.
I totally agree with you guys. I am also so happy for them. And as you mentioned, we never knew what was actually going on behind the scenes in JLo's life as a whole, whether it comes to A-Rod or her relationship with Ben. There were those rumors and those allegations that he was actually emailing her or sending these dramatic long love letters to her in a sense, or texts or whatever it was. So I don't know, like when it comes to me, like I know I have some exes that I'm friendly with. I mean, if I'm not friendly with them, I still have their numbers because I'm just a firm believer in like fate, and you never know what's going to happen in the future. And I really think that that is the case for JLo and Ben Affleck here. And again, not to mention, she was hurt by A-Rod. So it makes sense that she would go to someone for comfort at the end of all of this. Maybe she went to Ben to confide in him. Maybe she did read into those love letters that he may or may not have sent her, and really felt like now was the right time to be with him, or just felt that spark still inside of her for him. So We'll never know exactly what went on, but they are together now. We're looking at these kissing photos. And I also just wanted to point out that the internet actually went completely crazy over one photo in particular. And they actually theorized that JLo was holding up an Illuminati sign. We see her kind of grabbing Ben, pulling him in, but her hand is making a sort of this kind of a gesture. I mean, I think this is absolutely comical. I mean, we always see fans kind of theorizing and making up conspiracy theories about any celebrity or from any show or on television. We see this happen all the time. So I am just curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Fiona, what do you think about this alleged Illuminati sign?
Oh my God. I think this is absolutely hilarious. I love when the internet just does its thing and like we start with one photo and somehow we end up talking about the Illuminati. People love the Illuminati A-list conspiracy theory. Personally, I've seen the photo. Her hand is in a weird position, but we have to remember that like paparazzi are snapping like 3,000 frames a second, right? So it's totally possible that this hand movement was just in like a moment of transition, right? I don't think she like firmly planted that on his cheek or his shoulder or wherever her hand is to try to send the world some sort of very confusing, subtle Illuminati message. But I love, like I said, when the internet has fun, does its thing. I mean, why not, right?
Well, I don't know if I believe if it's real or not, but I'm just looking at the picture right now, okay? Because you have to realize that they're at a dinner, right? So they're sitting next to each other. So in order for them to kiss, she does have to turn this way, and her hand is coming up to grab his shoulder. So I feel like honestly, like my hand would also be in a similar place if I'm trying to grab him this way. I know it's very awkward, me trying to reenact this scene right now by myself, but you have to remember that they're sitting on the same side of the table. So I think it's literally just how her hand works as she's trying to grasp his arm. But leave it to the internet to find any little thing and make it a conspiracy theory. It's just what the internet does.
Morgan,
Really?
I absolutely loved that demonstration. I think we could definitely break it down as the motion of her grabbing him. And she wasn't grabbing him like full on, like it was kind of like a come here, like type of
Yeah.
vibe. So I think if we were doing that with our significant other or whoever else and paparazzi was snapping us, maybe we'd have a similar conspiracy theory emerge about the positions of our hands on someone else's shoulder. But other than that, they look so happy together. And this isn't just some rebound from her breakup with A-Rod, right? Things are looking pretty serious. JLo's 13-year-old twins with her ex-husband Mark Anthony were also at the dinner party. But when the couple wasn't too busy kissing, JLo and Ben were actually seen playing and talking with her kids. So clearly, Ben is really close with the family. And a source says that he's already gotten JLo's mother's approval. Not only that, but her mom says that she's absolutely thrilled about her daughter's rekindled romance. The source also mentions that her mom and Ben used to be very close, and she was actually sad when they couldn't work things out in the past. And for those of you that don't know, Ben and Jen were actually engaged back in 2002, and they split just 4 days before the wedding. They were seen back together this past April, right after JLo and former fiance A-Rod called it quits. And since the reunion, JLo and Ben have been spending a lot of time together, from vacations in Montana to Miami. And sources now say that the singer actually plans on relocating to LA to be closer to Ben. So you guys, it's only been a couple of months, but they are pretty serious, as we can see. And it seems like they picked up right where they left off. But do we think that their romance will last? Morgan, what do you think?
Yeah, so on one hand, I am excited about this. On the other hand, I'm a little skeptical because there are certain things that are a little bit of a red flag to me. Okay. First and foremost, they are both actors. We have to remember that. And they have been very, very public. To me, 9 times out of 10, celebrities don't want to be spotted making out. But JLo and Ben doing it in the middle of a sit down dinner for her sister's birthday, where literally everybody is watching, seems to me like they want people to see them making out. Also, there's a bit of a conspiracy theory on some of the Instagram tea pages. If you guys notice, all of the recent pictures of Ben and Jen are from a company called Backgrid, right? It's a paparazzi company. And the picture of JLo leaving Ben's house smiling, the picture of him driving away from JLo's house smiling is from Backgrid. Now, also this photo of them making out at Nobu is from Backgrid. The crazy conspiracy part of this is that people believe that when celebrities want something to be photographed, Backgrid is the company that they call to take those pictures. So some people are thinking whoever it was on the phone on behalf of JLo or Ben Affleck is calling Backgrid, hey, they're going to be at Nobu in Malibu tonight. Why don't you come snap some pictures of them making out so that it's all over social media? Now, that being said, I don't know, are they doing this to get more PR out of their relationship, more publicity? I don't know. Do I think it will last? I think if they have come back to each other after all of this time, I genuinely hope so. It just JLo's relationships in general don't have the best track record. So I don't want to put a money bet on it. So I don't know. My brain's kind of all over the place with this one.
No, I think that conspiracy theory is really interesting because, and I've said this since the very first time we sort of spotted JLo and Ben together, they're both so A-list, right? It's very hard for them to do anything privately. So I was almost taken aback the first time we spotted them just at dinner together, right? Where we barely got any PDA because I just kept thinking like, you're JLo and Ben Affleck. Like, you know that you couldn't go to dinner with your mom, fill in the blank without it being photographed, right? So why take it to, a hot spot in LA so soon when JLo is, going through a breakup, when this is brand new, when the whole world has Bennifer, mania on the mind so easily. It did seem like a little bit of a bold choice, but I kind of chalked it up to just like, they're over it, right? Their lives are what their lives are. If people want to talk about it, if people want to photograph it, they don't care, right? They're tired of like hiding, what makes them happy, which I think could totally just be what this is. But there is something interesting, to the paparazzi theory. Of course, I love a good conspiracy. Part of me feels like typically when celebrities sort of throw their relationship to center stage, it's because they want publicity. But two people as famous as this, I'm kind of like, do you need publicity? You know what I mean? So there are a lot of different threads. I'm all over the place too, Morgan, to this that we could try to unravel. Ultimately, do I think it's going to work out? I don't know, but I really hope so because like Morgan said, JLo has had a long, run of difficult relationships, I guess I'll put it that way. And I really want her to be happy. And I love a good, rekindled flame story, two people finding their way back to each other. It feels like a rom-com. So I'm crossing my fingers for them. I'll say that. I'm really hopeful. And from what we're seeing, they continue to make progress moving, forward, getting more and more serious. So I don't know. I guess we have no reason to not believe they're going to work out as of right now.
You know what? My guilty pleasure is loving these conspiracy theories that I see on the internet and the one that Morgan just brought up. And now I'm like, what if the Illuminati is making them be public in PDA? And then that's why she threw up this. I'm just kidding. I would never dive that deep. But I agree with you. It's hard to tell because we could make a whole separate video just kind of diving into JLo's dating history, right? She's been engaged several times. She has kids with other men. Ben also was married to Jennifer Gardner. He actually has his kids of his own. So they are getting to the age where if they're not serious now, then when are they going to be serious? Of course, we all look at JLo like she's still in her 20s. That's how she looks. But they're, JLo's in her late 40s, Ben's 50. Like they need to kind of get it together. And now is the time. So I truly hope that they do. And I think that because this is kind of the first time she's going backwards to a past relationship. And again, not only was it just a relationship, they were engaged. They were just about to get married. I think that, they've already checked off all of those boxes. So it's not like she's starting fresh. So there is a good chance that they will just settle down considering where they both are at in life. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens. That is all we have for you guys right now. But let us know what you think about the Bennifer relationship in the comments below. Do you think they're going to stay together? In the meantime, if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future updates. As always, I'm your host, Gianna Gravalese. I was joined by the wonderful Morgan Wright and Fiona Zaring. Give us a follow. Come say hi. Our social handles are on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.